night, the Razorbacks played for a trophy at Arlington's AT&T Stadium. RCR Clark has the highlights just ahead.
I'm Frederick Price. Next, hear why two Arkansas organizations are coming together to stop the violence and the solutions leaders are proposing.
Plus, it's been 65 years since the Little Rock Nine entered Central High School. Why those same former students say the work's not over yet. Good evening and thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Sarah Horbacewicz and I'm here with Sierra Clark. Sierra, we're both a little upset right now. Quite the game.
Yeah, the Razorbacks lost their first game of the season. They fell to Texas A&M in the Southwest Classic. The Aggies won this one 23-21. It was back and forth. The Razorbacks came to life in the second half, but they just were a little short and missed that field goal by Cam Little. It was a crazy one, and you got to see the highlights later on in sports. We're going to have those, and you're going to hear from Jacob Seuss from our sister station in Fort Smith, and he's going to tell us about the game as well.
All right, thanks so much. I don't know if I'm looking forward to it, but I want to hear more about it. Thanks so much, Sierra. And turning now to a developing story. We've been following this story for quite some time. New video has been released from the arrest of Terence Caffey, the man who died in police custody after an incident at the movie tavern last year. The video's release comes just a week after the Pulaski County prosecutor announced that they would not be filing charges against the law enforcement officers involved in that arrest. Tonight, we want to show you the moments leading up to that incident and when the off-duty Pulaski County Sheriff's deputy got involved. I do want to warn you that some of what we're about to show you can be disturbing. We also want to acknowledge that we did get this from Pulaski County, who put together body camera footage and surveillance video from the theater to show what happened. What you're about to see is from the theater's camera. We see the beginning of what appears to be an altercation between Caffey and another person in the hallway. Theater employees try to break things up before the two fall to the ground, hitting each other. That's when the off-duty deputy arrives to help stop the fight. The deputy then tries to detain Caffey, who then runs down the hallway. The deputy catches up with him, pushes him against the wall, and then onto the ground, where Caffey is held down for several minutes. After Caffey is taken outside, video shows officers holding him down again. This time, he's on his stomach before being placed in the car. He's later assessed by a first responder who realizes that Caffey was in medical distress. We're choosing not to show those moments because they are disturbing. Again, none of the officers involved are facing criminal charges. You can watch the full video and learn more about the investigation right now on thv11.com. We have also spoken to Ben Crump, the nationally known attorney who represented the families of George Floyd, Trayvon Martin, and locally Hunter Britton. The Caffey family has retained him, and he says they are extremely disappointed with the prosecuting attorney deciding not to file charges. They are reviewing the footage now and looking into multiple legal options. Meanwhile, over in Little Rock, community leaders are teaming up to slow violence that continues to plague our city. Our Frederick Price has more tonight. Frederick?
Yeah, the recent violence in Little Rock is prompting two groups, the Arkansas Stop the Violence organization and the NAACP, to join forces with a similar mission to figure out how they can put an end to the violence in the community.
We are in a state of urgency and emergency, and it's heartbreaking.
Reverend Benny Johnson is the founder of Arkansas Stop the Violence. He describes the latest violent activity in the city as senseless.
We don't have love and respect for each other no more. That's why you're seeing a lot of the violence that's going on.
The only way to change that, he says, is meeting people where they are at.
A lot of times, the community not going to come. You got to go to the community.
Saturday, Arkansas Stop the Violence and the NAACP are hosting a youth explosion, an event which aims to give the youth in this community a chance to speak against the issues they're noticing among their peers and adults.
And I'm tired of seeing our youth killing older people, and I'm tired of seeing our youth killing their classmates.
Walter Cochran says there are dozens of possible solutions to this problem. One, speaking up.
People just don't say anything. It is a no-snitch rule in our areas, and they need to get rid of that.
Before the pandemic, Cochran ran a group of teens called Distinguished Men.
We did various things on the weekends and even on weekdays to try to keep them off the street, to make sure that they don't get caught up in violent acts.
Now he has plans to pick the group back up, as it was a part of the solution for giving kids a different avenue. For Cochran, seeing two organizations come together for one goal keeps him optimistic.
We want to do something positive, because with them being positive, they can maybe possibly rub off on their classmates to want to do something positive.
In Little Rock, Frederick Price, THV 11 News.
Well, out here in the Weather Garden, we started off earlier this weekend with plenty of some sunshine on our Saturday, but as the afternoon progressed, we saw some rain, at least for some of us. Some of that actually did bring the chance for some scattered showers and storms earlier this afternoon and evenings. We did see a few severe thunderstorm warnings. Matter of fact, I did even see a tornado warning outside the Jonesboro region earlier this evening. Definitely quite the interesting setup. It's relatively quiet right now. Looking at your live radar, just a few spotty showers across central portions of the state. We're seeing some parts of Jefferson County, Lono County, and just to our west here in Pulaski County. I am sensing a few raindrops right now. Partly cloudy, 75. We have a little bit of a light breeze out of the south. As we go into tonight, it will be relatively quiet. Could still see a few stray showers here or there, but we're going to be wrapping up our rain chances into the rest of our weekend. I'll have a full check of what to expect in the new week in the forecast coming up.
This week also marks 65 years since 9 young men and women walked through the doors at Little Rock Central High School and into history, ending segregation here in Arkansas. That historic event continues to be recognized this weekend. Yesterday, 5 of the former students spent time reflecting on the difference they made while making their belief clear that the fight for change is not over. They say there is still meaningful work to do and that work can be done by anyone.
Ordinary people can do extraordinary things. And people want us to claim courage and fortitude and all that. And we really are firm about it being we're regular kids. And that's key when we're talking to a generation. The word courage brings up all kinds of things. So I try not to use the word because I don't want kids to think that they can't do what we did.
The group hopes that their challenges and endurance of violence and hatred is fuel for anyone wanting to make a change in society. Remembrance events continue tomorrow as well, and we'll have those details and a full list of this weekend's events on our website at thv11.com. Also in Little Rock this weekend, the city hosted thousands of bicyclists today to ride in the Big Dam Bridge 100. Cyclists could choose rides starting at 15 miles with options all the way to 105 miles long. But the riders weren't all from Arkansas. Athletes came from across the country to ride along the Big Dam Bridge today, bringing the cycling community together from veterans to first-timers.
We've seen people from Texas, we've seen people from Mississippi, we've seen people from different places, and so it sounds like it's going to be a nice event. We're actually planning to go to Mississippi next year to do one, so it's a big thing, and it's kind of fun and exciting to be part of the cycling group.
Wake Up Central's Michaela Johnson and I cheered on cyclists all day as they crossed the finish line in the North Shore Riverwalk Park over in North Little Rock, finishing with a big finale fest with food and live entertainment for everyone. But Michaela and I weren't the only ones out and about today. We all know our evening anchor Rolly Hoyt is a little crazy, but today he went over the edge, quite literally. Rolly joined some 24 city leaders and local celebrities down in Hot Springs to rappel down the side of a 6-story building downtown. What you just saw there was video from his helmet. It was all a fundraiser for Jackson House, a Hot Springs and Garland County crisis center, raising between $45,000 and $50,000. Over in Little Rock, dozens of families showed up for Drag Queen Story Hour at Charlie's Restaurant in the River Market. Miss Gay, Arkansas read stories during what was billed as an inclusive space for children of all backgrounds. Central Arkansas Library System also participated today and is working with Story Hour for possible future events. Now, it has been a heck of a night to be a Razorback fan, and in Arlington, our sister station 5 News is here with all of the action after that nail-biter game, and what a field goal. Jacob.
A heck of a night to be a Razorback fan, but unfortunately not in a good way to be a Razorback fan tonight. The Hogs dominated the first quarter in this one, took a 14-0 lead against Texas A&M here at the Southwest Classic, but then after that, pretty much everything went Texas A&M's way. A couple mistakes by the Arkansas football team led to the Hogs only having a one-point lead going into halftime. That's when things really turned sour. Texas A&M, they scored 23 unanswered points, took an 11-point lead going into the fourth quarter, but Arkansas, they fought back. They scratched their way back into this one. KJ Jefferson led his team to a touchdown. The Hogs only trailed by 2 with 6 minutes left, and they had the ball in their favor. The offense marched down the field, and then they put it in Cam Little's hands. A 42-yard field goal to give the team the lead, and it would hit off the top of the crossbar. Texas A&M would finish this thing off, wind down the clock, and take this one. The Aggies have knocked off the Hogs 23-21 tonight in Arlington. This is the 10th time in the last 11 tries that the Hogs have fell to Texas A&M. A heartbreaking one as the Hogs take their first loss of the 2022 season, dropping this one to Texas A&M here at the Southwest Classic. But for now in Arlington, Jacob Seuss, THV 11 Sports.
All right, thank you so much, Jacob. Yeah, definitely a heartbreaking night, but one that kept us watching all the way to the very end. And now coming up in minutes, a story that made big waves on THV11.com. The Arkansas teen is living her dream while breaking down barriers. Her inspiring story and what sparked her love of rodeo. But first, someone who loves weather. Corrales?
That's right. So for those who love more of those fall-like conditions, I do have some good news. We have more of that back in the forecast as we head into the new week. The latest forecast is coming up.